Alright guys, well, here's my progress. There's a couple things on the heads that I had to do a lot of research, I guess, and some trial and error. Figured I'd put a video out there with a couple tips. So I did these, I put ARP head studs on this while it was in the truck. So of course I wasn't sure, do I put the studs on first? Do I set the heads down? But anyway, what you're going to want to do is, of course, after your block is prepped, and if you're not sure how to prep your block, I'll drop a link in the description. There's a pretty good write-up on how to do it, but basically what I did is I had a piece of flat iron, and I smoothed the edges here, wrapped it in a piece of 600 grit wet rated sandpaper, and then I sprayed WD-40 on this, sprayed it on the block, and then you're just gonna make sure this whole thing makes contact with your block as you're cleaning it. And of course get your take a scraper and get your thick gasket material off first, and then this works pretty good. You're not going to put any grooves or anything in the block surface. A lot of people will say, yeah, go ahead and use a wheel on a drill. I've heard horror stories of that, so I don't want to do that. It does take a little more time doing it this way, but you're going to get a nice flat, even surface, and you're not going to put any gouges or anything in the block. So again, it does take time. You're going to work back and forth until you get a nice clean surface. It doesn't necessarily have to be shiny, but just make sure when you run your hand across it that it's nice and smooth, and you're not feeling any grooves or anything with your fingernails, and you should be golden. Now put your intake manifolds on first. That's probably something dumb to say, but I wasn't sure. Do I put them on after I set the heads? But you will clear the turbo and everything if you want to set them down, so that way you can put them on your bench, torque them up and set them right down. Now as far as the head studs go, you're going to want to put your dowels in your block, and you're going to want to set your head gaskets down first. That's the first thing you're going to do. Make sure your thread bolt holes are clean. What I did is I used brake cleaner, and I had a vacuum with a hose rigged up, and as I was spraying it into the thread bolt holes, I was sucking it right out with the vacuum cleaner. And I did that till all the my bolt holes were clean, and actually let it set for a day just to make sure that all that brake cleaner evaporated out of the holes, because I didn't want to screw the studs in and then have that fluid come out underneath the head gasket. So go back through with a light, just make sure all your holes are clear, clean everything really good. Set your gaskets down. Now remember that if you're in front of the vehicle, technically your left side is going to be the right side of the engine, because the right side of the engine is if you're standing technically on the back side of it. But so this is the right side, this is the left side. Your letter is going to be up, so of course, and there's a little bit of writing on the head gasket that says this side up, so your R is going to be up here. And then the left head gasket, you're going to see that L is going to end up in that back corner over there. Now here's the thing that I wasn't sure about excuse me, is do I put the head studs in first? What I do anyways, this is what you're going to do. So you're going to put the head gaskets down, you're going to set the head, this one anyway, you're going to set the head down. Just be careful when you do it, set it down nice and easy. Try not to gouge it on your dowels that are coming out of your block. Get that one set down, get a couple studs started in there. This side over here, there's one stud, and it's going to be this back one right here, and it's only one you have to do it with, but you're going to want to put that stud in before you get it in there, and just put a zip tie on it, just to kind of hold it in there, because that one you won't be able to clear the firewall here. So that's the only one that you have to put a zip tie on, kind of hold the stud in place, and then do the same thing. Set this head down, and then go through and put all your studs in, and you'll be good. So it's really not that bad doing it inside the vehicle. It was just, for me, it's, you know, actually I had put a couple studs on over here and tried to set the head on, and of course I wasn't going to clear my air conditioning stuff there. So anyways, it's fine to go ahead and set them down, stick your studs right through the block, get everything in there. Now remember, with the ARP head studs, you're just going to hand tighten the studs in there, and then make sure you grease your threads, washers, and nuts. What I did here was the assembly stuff they give you. I just kind of put it all in here, and I used a little foam brush, and that helped me put some gloves on too, because it gets pretty messy. But anyways, that helped me quite a bit, get that on there. So other than that, that's all I got for you now. The last thing was, I had trouble with the Y bridge with the new gaskets. It didn't seem like it wanted to fit. And what you're going to want to do is get your Y bridge set down in there, and then these bottom nuts, put all 4 of those on, and then start tightening them, and it'll pull it right down. And then you can go ahead and get these top ones in. So hopefully that helps you guys out, and we'll have some more videos as I move along here.